Are you struggling to align your engravings with your jewelry or anything else that you're working on with your laser? You have a necklace like this and you want to make sure that everything lands in the exact right spot, or maybe you've got a circle like this on this keychain and you're wanting to make sure that you land in the exact right spot of the circle. That's what I'm here for. This video is going to help you solve all of that. You change one setting in either xTool Studio or xTool Creative Space and everything becomes so much simpler. But that's not the only trick to it. I've been doing this for a couple years now, and I am here to show you the tricks that I've learned over years of doing on-site engraving at shows where I've got to nail it first time because I don't have any backup material, or just engraving at home and wanting to make sure that everything is lined up right. It really doesn't take very long, and it's a super simple process. So my name is Patrick. This is Created Workshop. Let's dive in and make sure that all of your stuff is properly aligned from the start. Okay, so to start off with, we're going to open up xTool Studio is what I'm using. If you're still using xTool Creative Space, that's totally fine. It works the same in both softwares. But we're going to be using xTool Studio, and I'm going to be doing this for my F1. We're going to start by looking at how everything's going to lay out in software, and then we're going to jump on over to the laser, and I'll show you how it all translates to actually aligning it on the laser. Like I said, I'm doing this on my F1, but it'll also work on the F1 Ultra, F2 Ultra, F2 UV, any of the Galvo lasers from xTool, this will work perfectly for. So to start with, you're going to need a set of calipers, and these calipers are going to be really handy. These are linked down in the description. I love these. I've tried other ones. None really work as good as these. And we're going to start with the simpler of the two shapes, the circle. So we're going to start by just grabbing the dimensions of this circle, which is 24, we'll call it 24.9 millimeters. I work in millimeters, simpler for my brain to think when I'm doing stuff like this, but you can work in inches too. Either way, we're 24.9 millimeters. So in xTool Studio, we're going to grab a circle. You can see I've already got my tool selected here. Grab a circle, hold Shift, and then drag. This will let you draw a perfect circle. We're now going to change our size here to 24.9. That's going to give us a perfect 24.9 millimeter circle. Now the graphic that we're going to use is right over here. This "if dad can't fix it, no one can." And this is just going to line up here. Now, to my eye, this does not look super centered, and we'll figure that out when we get over there. But you can take and kind of move it around a little bit to see wherever you would want to put it, and we're going to call that good for now. If you're used to how the xTool F1 series frames, words are hard right now, but if you're used to how it frames, it typically will frame like a rectangle box. That's not a huge help here. We want to be able to see the outside circle. We don't want to see a rectangle box of the inside. We don't want to see a rectangle box of the outside. We want to see the circle that we just drew. That's why we drew it. So if you go down here to your framing, and mine's already changed, but yours will be set to rectangle, R-E-C-T. You change it to outline, that's going to change everything for you. So in this instance, if we have both of these layers set to output, you'll see here that it is now outlining a circle. If we take and we disable this outer circle layer, now you're going to see it's going to kind of draw the graphic. And it's going to show us where that graphic is going to land and how it's going to look on this keychain. So if I'm doing something like this, if I'm doing this keychain, I'm doing it two ways. First, I'm going to be doing that circle. That circle is going to allow me to get my graphic on here perfectly lined up with the circle right here. Once I have that done, then I will go ahead and disable the output of that outer circle, and I will then look to see what this looks like positioned. If I need to change some stuff, I'll change it. That's really all there is to it. I'm going to show it to you on another necklace as well, so that way we can kind of walk through doing a different shape. And if you have an odd shape, if you have a volleyball, if you have a cheer horn, if you have anything like that, then the best thing you can do is try to go to wherever you bought them. So these came from Monarch Pine. If you go to the Monarch Pine Facebook group, there are often a lot of templates that you can get from there. Those will have the shape that you're looking for. If you can get the shape, then you can bring that shape into XCS, load that shape in, size it correctly, and it will draw that shape outline. So if you've got the cheer horn it will properly draw the cheer horn as you're going, and that is a huge thing. That'll help you get your alignment. But for simpler shapes like the circle and like this rectangle, you can just take some measurements. So now, let's grab the calipers again, pick this up, and we're going to measure from right here to the inside of the piece. That's going to be 24.13. That's going to be one of our measurements. We're going to take 3 measurements for this. So 24.13, or 4 measurements, sorry, 24.13, 35.16. We're going to go ahead and start drawing that in XCS. So we're going to draw 2 rectangles. We're going to select this first one, unlink it. Width is 24.13. And then this width is 35.16. Not that. We want this. 35.16. Let's see if it'll let me do it. 0.16. There we go. Okay, so that is our 2 measurements for that. And then we're going to measure the height. 6.05, and lastly, we're going to measure the distance from the outside to where that hole starts. That's about 2. Okay, so we'll make both of these 6.05, 6.05, and then we have a 2 millimeter. So we're just going to draw a 2 millimeter square. Okay, now that we've got all of this, and there's bugs flying around in the shop, that's fine. You can see here what we're drawing. And what this does is this outer shape gives us the entire rectangle of this necklace to be able to align that. This little square gives us the offset that we need. Got it. One less mosquito. This little square gives us the offset that we need from the outside of the necklace to the outside of that hole. And then this right here, this is our engravable area outside of what we've got to set aside for that heart and the other hole. And so this kind of is a 3-layer approach. It's a little bit much, but it also helps make sure everything is nailed perfectly every time. So this is what we're going to start with here, and then I'm going to go, and I've got some text over here. We're going to grab that, and there we go. So we will move this out of the way so it's not messing with our alignment. But now this text is properly centered between the hole for the necklace and the heart. If you want to center it all the way up, you can, and that's where it would land for there. This just kind of helps us lay everything out, gives you more options depending on how big you want to go. So let's jump on over to the laser. You've possibly, depending on if I've overlaid anything, seen some of that already. But we're going to jump on over to the laser and see how all of this lays out and projects down in real time. Okay, so now you can see the laser setup. We've got both of these set to output now, and I'm going to do it how it would normally frame. And so you can kind of see that blue square it's drawing, which, you know, on something like this, you can kind of align it with that, and, you know, that does work. But you'll see in a second, we're going to flip this over to outline. And now it's drawing a circle that I can fit this within and know that I'm going to be spot on. So now let's go ahead and we're going to disable that circle. And you will see when we restart framing. Now what it's doing, and it's a little hard to see on camera. I'll try to enhance that a little bit. But what it's doing is it's showing us the engrave. Now here's the thing. This is telling me that my engrave is placed too high. So I can just move it down. And as I'm moving it down, I'm seeing it update in real time. And so now we're going to watch this engrave using my typical settings, which is 100 speed, or 100% power, 5 speed, 1 pass, 300 lines per centimeter using the IR laser on the F1. And make sure that you enable smart mode. If you don't know how to enable smart mode, click on the button this side or this side, whichever side it is. Click on that button. It'll take you to the video where I explain smart mode, explain how to speed up your process. We're going to stop framing. We're going to hit process. And this will take about 7 minutes. So I'm going to hit continue anyway. Start. We're going to send this over to the laser, and I will be back with you guys in just a few minutes. Okay, so as you can see, this came out exactly as we were hoping it would. Perfectly aligned, nice engraved. Now it's time to do the necklace. So we're going to take the necklace. Something that I always do is I try to put the clasp on the right-hand side. And so that means that I need my heart to be on the left-hand side as I'm engraving. So we're going to kind of polish this with my shirt for a second. And then we're going to make sure that we have good focus. Move this completely out of the way. Grab all of this stuff and come in here. I'm going to set my settings for this. And now we are going to frame. Oh, I had those all turned off. They all need to be turned on in order to frame. Don't forget to do that. Now we can take and align the necklace. We can turn off that outer layer and the little square. And now when we align, we should be seeing, and we are perfectly within our engravable area. So now again, we'll turn off that. Come back in here. You don't have to go through all the steps of turning things off and back on all the time. This will just allow you to kind of see what we're doing. And now that I'm seeing that graphic aligned to the center of the whole necklace instead of the open area, I don't like that. Let's see what it looks like when we align it to the center of the engravable area. That looks a lot better, maybe even a little bit more to the left. That looks really good. Now, the other thing that this shows us is this is going to be the correct height. It's going to be the correct everything. We're going to do this in real time, though. We're going to go ahead and go back into process. This will only take 57 seconds to engrave. I'm not going to break the GoPro out for this one. You saw the GoPro for the last one, but we're going to just do this one with my other camera here. Ready? This is going to be a 57-second engrave for a necklace on an F1. Again, if you don't know how to speed up your engravings, check out the other video. Head on over to my channel where you can speed up your engravings on your F1 drastically. You can save 60-70% of the time, most of the time. So here is engraving, and this will be perfectly aligned right out of the box. We did everything that we needed to make sure that it was lined up properly, and then when it comes off, it'll be ready to hand to your client, to whomever. Another 12 seconds and we'll be done. And we are finished. So I will grab this. Get that focused. And there's that engrave. I still need to clean it a little bit, but that's it. It looks great. And there you have it. We have a aligned necklace. An aligned keychain. And now you can align anything you need to. Seriously, if you haven't used this tip or this technique yet, you need to. It's super simple to use. Once you get used to it, it's second nature at that point. And I definitely think that this will be a go-to thing for everybody as they're framing and as they're aligning. It just makes it so simple, guarantees that alignment, and you don't have to worry about ruining anything from there on out. Well, if you made it this far in the video, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for sticking with it to the end. If you would like to get any of the blanks that I used, I will leave those linked down below. If you click that link, I do get a little bit of a kickback from that. And if you use the code Created Workshop at Monarch Pine, then you will save 10% as well. So make sure to click the link and use the code. You save, I get a little bit, doesn't cost you anything. In fact, it costs you less. And so you do that, that's awesome. I'll also have links down below to my favorite xTool lasers from the F1, the F1 Ultra, F2 Ultra. All of those will be linked down below. And if you're like, hey Patrick, I just cannot figure this thing out, I actually offer one-on-one trainings. That link is down there too. And you can click that, you can book some time with me, and I can help you dial in your specific machine. Thanks again for watching. Stay tuned for the next video. You guys will really love it, especially F1 users. I will catch you in the next one.